Good morning. Greetings from the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area. We are live, 5 Play Friday. Hope everyone is doing very well. We are in the final stretch of the season. I think playoffs may have started in some locales across the country. We're still a couple of weeks here away here in the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area in California. How's my scene looking? Pretty good. Pretty good. Hope everyone's doing well. Warren from Lubbock. Excellent. We got some sort of play scenario. Okay. District championship game tonight. Nice. Nice. Yeah, you guys are ahead of us. Okay, so play was stopped because of the table sounding a horn, and the coach wanted a timeout, and during this dead ball period, a timeout was not granted. That would be a mistake based on the limited information I have. Excellent advice, Jason. Excellent advice. Hope everyone's holding up physically. That's always an issue this time of year. That nagging thing that you had at the start of the season is really barking. Gotcha. Okay. Good morning to you, Chuck. Holding it down. Right. So it sounds like the play was stopped due to the horn, and then at that point, a timeout was not granted. During a dead ball, any player or coach, head coach, can request and should be granted a timeout. So if there was a stoppage, right, we cannot say at that point, no, there's no timeouts here because this stoppage shouldn't have occurred or whatever. I'm kind of guessing here. I'm trying to catch up in the chat. Good morning, Tom. Good to see you. Randy Wilson in the house. Was play not stopped in this scenario? Okay. Zooch, you made an excellent decision today. My grandson Charlie is now enrolled in daycare, and he is killing it, man. They're doing so much fun stuff. It's very impressive. Very impressive. The daycare takes a lot of photos, and so we get to see them, which is just awesome. Awesome. Mount Pleasant, Texas. Jason, good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Oy. Yeah, usually I, of course, film this show. I am wearing pajama bottoms. That's if I'm wearing anything at all. That's kind of a thing. Good morning, Darwin Sonata. Go blue. I think you got it in. I guess I don't really fully understand. I should stop talking about this play. Anyway, if we have a dead ball, at that point, if anybody's requesting a timeout, we grant it. And if two opponents request a timeout simultaneously, then what do we do? Is it, wait a minute. Is it possible to have too much coffee? That's the question, Tom. Good morning. Ron from Tannersville, Pennsylvania. Liking my background. No, I'm not using any clips from my camera glasses, which are a lot of fun. Not today. Not today. Oh, okay. Ray, the league playoffs have started. Excellent. Cody, cold. It's been brisk around here in the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area, where I'm in a little outlying area. Yeah, it's that time of year. Good morning, David from Idaho. Yeah, it is. So it sounds like, Justin, it's a great communication situation, right? We can sort of a little bit of kabuki theater. Timer, you have made a mistake. Don't do that again, etc. Right? Coach, I appreciate that. Coach, I appreciate that. Do you still want your timeout? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Yes, fine. Yes, we had a horn. We had a stoppage as a result. I'm sorry, coach. That's the way we're going to play it, etc. Right? And just work your way in. Get the teams into their huddle, doing their timeout things. Coach, I appreciate that. Coach your team, etc. We go out. We create distance. We go to our proper spots on the floor. Again, when we come back to the table and tisk tisk. Right, admonishing. Again, it's kind of kabuki theater a little bit. Just firm. We're communicating, coach. Yes, So yeah, so it's a great communication situation, I would say. South Louisiana. Is that how you pronounce it? Louisiana? Louisiana? Is that just a random statement? Is it ever too much? Uh, I know some people kind of live on Zoom, even these days, and I'm not a Zoom guy. The software that I use has Zoom integration, and I would like to give that an explore, but I haven't had the chance. I appreciate that, Donald. I appreciate that very much. Well, if you have a good rapport with a coach, uh, you could, or to break the tension. How's the officiating tonight, coach? Oh, awesome. Awesome. Brisk. They still have a brisk iced tea. Is that still a thing? We used to talk about old TV shows on this show. We don't do that anymore. Telly Savalas is Kojak. Of course, Mike is a little bit of a constant reminder of old TV shows. Appreciate that. Well, I did have a game earlier this year, and the coach who I know pretty well, um, uh, I had made a call earlier in the game, and he said that was a great call. That's the best call you've made. Whatever, right? Whatever. And then I called a flop on his player, a flop warning on his player later in the game, and he said, "I take it back. That's the best call you've ever made." Right? So sometimes coaches are you are aligned with them in their perception of the game. This is a blowout game. He was comfortable in the fact that he was going to win the game. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I appreciate that, Michael. Okay, all right. Today we have some throw in plays. Hmm. Give that just a little bit of that. A little bit of that. I'm there. Let me just check a couple of things here. You see, now we can improve that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We can improve that. Ah. All right. Let me just make sure my sound is good. Sound okay? Volume okay? I can bump it up just a little bit. Radio check. 1 2 1 2. Yeah. Wait, is that a emphatic let's go, or is that a let's go? All right, awesome. Okay, all right. I got the you make the call. Back for more 5 plays. Stick around. Greetings, welcome back. 5 Play Friday, show where we look at all of the things, analyzing game video so that we can get better as basketball officials. My name is Greg Austin with The Better Official. We craft video to help basketball officials get better. Let's take a look today at our first play. It's a you make the call play. What do you have on play number 1?
Missed rebound here to Brewster. Brewster quickly head to Nunley. He gets it to Martin. Martin's going to put it up and in on a scoop shot. And they're going to get a technical foul on who?
Defender contacts the basketball during a throw-in. Technical foul is assessed. Is that what you have on this play? Put your ruling down in the comments and stick around to the end of the video, end of the show today, and stick around to the end of the show today where we'll look at all of the things on play number 1. Okay, next play. Except for live stream viewers. Let's go here. Hey, back at the start of the show, we had that throw-in technical foul. Let's look back and look at all of the things on play number 1.
Missed rebound here to Brewster. Brewster quickly head to Nunley. He gets it to Martin. Martin's going to put it up and in on a scoop shot. And they're going to get a technical foul on who?
All right, the wild, wild west of a throw-in after a scored goal when multiple players can be out of bounds, players are moving in different directions, etc. Things can happen. We have something happen on this play. Let's look at all of the things and make sure that we understand what the rules and restrictions are in this situation. We know that a player, a defensive player, may not, hold on, a defensive player may not violate the boundary plane and contact the basketball during a throw-in. That is a restriction on a defender. Okay? Violate the boundary plane and contact the basketball. We know that a thrower, as well, may extend the ball through the plane, over the court, and when it is over the court, any defender may contact the ball, either dislodge it or grab it and create a held ball situation. And these situations only occur, in this after a scored goal situation. So our two questions here are: what is the status of the player the defender who contacts the basketball? What is the status of the basketball? Was it still being held? Was it extended through the boundary plane? These are all variables on the play. So let's take a look. I'm going to go. All right, scored goal, the defender. The offensive player who scored the goal, their momentum carried them out of bounds. They're entitled to be out of bounds. Our thrower, oftentimes throwers will take the minimum amount of space from out of bounds. He's clearly out of bounds here, and he's going to attempt to throw in, but his momentum brings his body forward, and the ball is extended over the court. So even if the ball was contacted in the hands of the thrower, it's a legal play in that context, right? But what is the status of our player or defender now who was out of bounds? Are they an inbounds player in this situation or not? No, they were not. They had not established inbounds. They would need something in and nothing out, a foot down. So in the end, what we have is a situation where the player contacted the basketball, yes, but they did so legally, the contacting of the basketball. Now, the fact that they had out of bounds status at the time would render this to actually be an out of bounds violation. That would be the correct ruling in this instance. Okay? Now we note our calling official comes very quickly with a technical foul. There's no processing involved. The thing about throw-in plays, is there are a wild variety of things that can happen. And especially after a scored goal, when we have players coming from out of bounds, inbounds, players from out of inbounds coming out of bounds, etc. Multiple players can be out of bounds for the throwing team, etc. There's a genuine bit of chaos in those situations. So when something happens that are, we need to give ourselves a moment to process and make sure we have exactly the right call on the play. But a great play to review, and a great play to review in terms of understanding all of the elements in a play situation like this. That's a great play to review, in my mind, just because, but we note that our calling official here immediately, right? You contacted the ball, that's a player technical. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Tom, I think that's a very good assessment on your part. Hmm. So clearly, this is not a plain violation. The defender did not, which you're not allowed to do, extend through the plane and contact the basketball. That's a player technical. But that's not what happened on this play. Very relevant. Good job, Sean. I agree. Bunch of smarty pantses in the comments. Very good. Very good. That's pretty straightforward play. If the defender kicked the ball on the throw-in, we would retain the privilege. I'd say we retain the privilege here because it was an illegal touching. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. That would be a great follow-up scenario because you're already explaining to the coach something that happened on this play. Oh my goodness. All right. I appreciate that. You've talked me into it. The throw-in didn't end legally. When does a throw-in legally end? J. Brian B. There are 3 ways. Throwing team violates, ball's legally touched inbounds, or the ball is touched out of bounds. This throw-in ended legally. That's the source of our ruling that this would be a designated spot throw-in. We're at odds. But we're moving on. We're looking at play number. Peggy does. All right, let's move on, live stream viewers, to play. You know, this plays like this invariably happen. They invariably happen. You know, we see one or two every year that, come across. Uh, yeah. It's great to see these plays in the wild, right? So that when they occur in our game, right, we just have some recall, some, uh, something in the memory bank to help us. But processing here, slowing down is really the key component to the what did I just see, right? What did I just see? Anyway, next play. All right, steal at midcourt, retaliatory action. Steal at midcourt, retaliatory action on the resulting play, right? When we get scenarios where we have that midcourt steal, oftentimes our defender is looking to do some retaliatory action. They're pissed off. This little guy just stole the ball from me, right? We see on the initial, the actual steal right here, right? He throws his hip into him, obviously a physical player, right? At this point, I'm saying easy, easy, right? And then we have the chuck, right? So, and our officials are thinking, wait a minute, was that a shooting foul or not a shooting foul? But we have to evaluate the foul itself, right? The chuck of the player, does this rise to the level of an intentional foul for excessive contact? I'd say it does. I'd say it does. This is unnecessary action, not a play on the ball, push from behind, etc. You know, we've got a player who there's not really proximity to the wall. Is that a factor on making a ruling on an intentional foul call? To me, we need to discuss whether this is an intentional. To me, this is an intentional foul. It's unnecessary. It's excessive. If as a result of that, it's not a play on the ball, etc. But right, always looking for retaliatory action from players. I think we had it on this play where the out of disgust we have the shove from behind. To me, this brings it into the realm of an intentional foul. How about you? Put your ruling. You disagree, right? It's just a hard foul, man, or it's just basketball, man. I can appreciate that as well, but it's not something we want in our game. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be, I mean, I know a lot of, it all depends on context, man. It really does. It really does depend on context. In some parts of the country, probably, man, you call intentional there, you are cooked, man. That's just basketball, right? And I can appreciate that. But when we look, so another factor on this play is, I think the possibility of intentional was disregarded, and we're thinking more, wait, was he shooting? Right? We're more focused on that aspect. Maybe. I don't know. I'm guessing. uh, On the previous play, I didn't think he did when he contacted the ball. All right. Yeah, there was the first foul, right? And that's another factor on this play is like you see that contact and you're like, is that incidental to the play? Player's going to be, have a transition layup. I don't want to take that away. And would it be, it would be a team control foul or a team control foul at that point. Let's take a look. Yeah. Yeah, that rises to me, right? Just the throw off. Um, right. So, what I find is a lot of officials are reluctant to assess an intentional foul. But to me, it's like the cheapest thing. It's not a technical where the player, if he gets another one, even if it's like for something, or a coach, even, where we assess a technical foul and they're at risk for another one, and then disqualification or ejection. An intentional foul is just giving the ball back. And it's a way to, tamp down tension, etc. So I'm probably more willing to upgrade to intentional than many others. That's just me. Nice. Nice. Right. And so your partner, if you like we like to encourage officials, we're on the court. We see this play. I'm your partner. I have an opinion, right? The unnecessary push in the back, etc., or I see something untoward on the backside that's just a non-basketball play. It's our responsibility to get in the way of that official and say, "Hey, right?" So Randy, he's working with his son, right? Son has a common, probably didn't want to upgrade, newer official, etc., or new to the level, etc. And Randy's like, "Hey, wait a minute, let's talk about it, right? Here's what I saw. I saw this. I saw this. I think we need this, right?" Calling official says, you know, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's a great idea, right?" I was like in my head a little bit, etc. So, at least slow your partner down in these situations if they're just going common and you have something different. If you don't have something different, we're not, we don't have to slow them down, right? I think that's my point, Mike. I think some officials fear ruling an intentional foul. Like there's some they have uncertainty about it. Kirk, I agree. I agree. If you've got that hip check at the division line, agree, Kennan. Agree. Well, I agree that it could have been, right? And that's a judgment you have to make. You know, is that contact incidental? I mean, like if his hip check had caused the kid to go flying out of bounds, that's an easy call. If the hip check causes him to his path to change, and you say, look, this little guy and this big guy, I know the little guy is going to get to the basket. I don't want to take a bite of the basket. These are variables. Variables. Ray Allen in the house. Good to see you, Ray. I agree. All right, cool. That's hindsight 2020. Tony, are you putting a whistle on that play? Really? Yeah. He hip checked him. Yes. Yes. It would be 2 shots and the ball at the spot nearest the foul, not the point of interruption. The spot nearest the foul. It's important to keep that language and that distinction in play. Okay, throw-ins are going to be the theme the rest of the way. Throw-ins, throw-ins, throw-ins. We've had one. I sort of threw that play in because I ran out of throw-in plays. Next play. All right, funky play, funky play. Right, ball's out of bounds, sideline throw in. Our administering official here does a great job, just like talking to the players, getting them set, etc. We're at the right throw in spot. Right, I would usually say hands back to my defender in this situation. The ruling here is that our defender violated the boundary plane and contacted the basketball. Is that what happened on this play? Now, obviously, we do not have the angle that the official has on this play, right? But let's look. There's a number of things. And again, throw in plays, so many things can happen. Did the throw in begin, right? We administered the throw in. Did the thrower have control of the basketball after it was handed or passed by the official, right? That's our first judgment we have to make. If he did, then our throw-in has begun. All restrictions on the thrower and the defender are in place. We're bouncing to the thrower. Did he ever hold the ball, right? The ball sort of comes up, etc. You could say at this point, hey, let redo, right? I bounced the ball to the thrower. He never caught the basketball. But throwers don't always catch the basketball. Sometimes we bounce it to them and they just tap it into their teammate, right? So, but did they release a throw-in pass onto the court? Which would, once you release a throw-in pass, the defender may then violate the plane, right? But a great thing that our official does is they wait. They process. What did I just see? I saw a defender violate the boundary plane, contact the basketball. That's the ruling on the play. And then we have subsequent action where they go and do a great job talking to the coach, etc. So let's look at some of all of the things on this play, right? bounced the ball to the thrower. They sort of caught it to bring it up, but didn't, right? The ball is, let's say, suspended over the out-of-bounds area, and our defender violates the boundary plane and contacts the basketball. We have to go under that assumption from this angle. But I really like here, we've got our calling official says, I will explain this to you, coach. Let's do it in your coaching box. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. That's the way to do it, right? I will explain. Here's what I had on the play. I had the throw-in had begun. The player violated, contacted the basketball. That's a player technical by rule, etc. We can use all of our skills there. Yeah. A funky play, not a play you see every day. Yeah, right. But a couple of key components of this play are processing, making the ruling after processing, but unusual play in a dark corner. You're not going to get any help from any of your partners on this play, none whatsoever. Keith, that is incorrect. That is a common misconception. Defender may not violate the plane until the ball is released. Once the ball is released, there is no restriction on a defender reaching through the boundary plane and contacting the basketball. Just like the way to think about it is there's a restriction during a free throw, right? I'm in a marked lane space. I cannot leave my marked lane space until the ball's released. And then there's no restriction on me leaving, right? Most restarts, or all restarts, have an interim thing that goes away, right? There's a full set of restrictions here, but once something happens, free thrower releases the free throw, the restriction on entering the lane is gone for players in marked lane spaces. Has the free throw ended? No, right? So on a throw-in, once the ball is released on a throw-in pass by the thrower, a throw-in pass, not a pass to a teammate on a non-designated, right? I can now violate the boundary plane and contact the basketball. I can grab it, I can steal it, I can knock it up in the air, I can knock it down to the floor. I believe the thrower did, but it was all sort of in the motion of catching the ball. If we had stopped play here and said do over, that would have been a great solution. Maybe. No. Right? If we see our defender, they're jumping backwards, right? Their feet are closer to the sideline. They jump, extend. Oh man, we have just the worst possible angle. Shane, the answer is no, because the status of the player who catches the ball, black, would have been out of bounds. They have caused the ball to go out of bounds. Coming back onto the court, not a factor, right? It's just they are out of bounds. The ball throw-in is released and deflected back and contacts them. They are out of bounds. It's an out of bounds violation. Really? Oh, I'd love to see that video. I'd love to see that video. That would be awesome if you could send that to hello@abetterofficial.com or go to abetterofficial.com/submitplays and send along that with info. That would be tremendous. If only we had that luxury. Let's go to the monitor. Uh, that is true. That's a good point, Ted. That's a good point. Something I may have failed to do the last time I had this. Oh. No, because the pass made between two players after a scored goal is not a throw in pass. Once the throw in pass is released, the restriction on violating the boundary plane has ended. As some noted experts will tell you. Good morning, Chris Janish. We are talking about funky throw in plays. Yes, yes, he does. Keith, we're in agreement on that statement, but your previous statement, we are not. Was there something preceding this? I don't know. But yeah, once a throw in pass is released, the restriction on a defender violating the boundary plane has ended. You know, Kyle, some officials do, and as a result, the players who have been playing basketball, let's say for 10 years, everybody knows that. So, I mean, the players do it, right? I just say, you know what, if I'm administering, clear the lane, right? And we're going to give some motion, that tells the players to back up. But yeah, yeah. These are the details we need to pick up on. Good morning, Ken. Good to see you. That is a true story. Let's say I'm the thrower, though. Let's say I'm the thrower and I'm tossing the ball from one hand to another. Can I reach through and violate? All right. Enough of that. Enough of that. Let me do that. Yeah. Oh, let's go. Next play. Another throw-in play.
Review foul is in number 0, Bert Lowry, his third, team second. Zach Polaris returns to call home ice. Kyle Porter.
Well, what do we have here? Sometimes kids just make mistakes. They do stuff that you cannot explain, right? So we have a foul ruled, designated spot throw in under the basket. Substitution is made. Player goes to the bench, and for some reason, they think that they have let their team down and they are needed on the court immediately. They run onto the court past our center official. Is the ball live? Is there a penalty that should be assessed in this situation? Is this something that we can simply ignore? It was simply a knucklehead player, etc. Our offended coach at the other end feels that ignoring this was inappropriate, and I think they have a case, right? It is illegal for a team to have 6 players participating when the ball is live, right? This player comes onto the court. They have 6 players on the court. The ball is live. This should be a team technical foul by rule. It's unfortunate. The kid was a knucklehead. He made a mistake, but, this is a technical foul, man, right? So, it's possible when we have a 6-player on the court situation that the crew is not aware, and we have to be aware of there being 6 participating while the ball is live. If this had occurred, let's say in a 2-person game where the officials never even saw the player come on and the coach pulled them back, right? And then somebody says, hey, they had 6 on the court. We need to observe that, right? And in this instance, the official clearly did observe it and, ignored it. Right? And that would be inappropriate in this situation. This should be a team technical foul for 6 players participating, right? If our opposing coach is saying, man, you can't ignore that. Yeah. We can't ignore it. It's just business, man. It's just business. I don't know what was going on. I mean, maybe the rationale was the throw-in hadn't been released or something like that. I don't know. Should be. My great Samuel Austin. Adam, I'm going to put a star on that and come back to that. Good morning from Alaska. Gregory, good to see you. That is a great question, right? One that we could, after ruling a technical foul, we could figure it out. I don't think it would be a substitute technical. I think it would be 6 in situations where, like case plays where after a lengthy timeout, player doesn't do this, etc. I would not consider this a substitute technical or a bench technical. I would be six participating, right? We have a confused player who enters the court. Good. It's good when things happen on plays that we weren't focused on, right? Because that's sort of the game, right? That's the way things come at us in the game. It's a throw-in play. That's all I said. Yes, good point, Billy. Good point. Well, is there some blame for the officials on this play? Yeah. I wonder what went through the kid's mind. Amazing. All right. I don't know. What possibly went through his mind? Hey, if this is the video content that you find valuable as a basketball official, do me a solid and hit the like button right now. Thanks. Next play. right, lots going on this play. Very animated coach. Uh, so on this play, we have a coach who's waving their hands in the proximity of the thrower. Ultimately, the throw-in pass, which was released onto the court, is contacted by the coach, kind of looking out of the corner of his eye at the thrower, and taking maximum use. Right. This action by the coach should have been a technical foul. This is inappropriate. The official asked him to move. He moved closer and contacted the basketball during a throw-in, even if it was not intentional and was inadvertent. That is a technical foul and should be ruled in that fashion. Now they're pleading like he can't call a timeout, falling out of bounds, mimicking rules at other levels. Lots going on this play, right? Our center official doesn't have a great view, trying to look through the line of players here. Our administering official asks the coach to move. Then they step to the maximum proximity, right? We have benches too close to the court. Lots of things going on in this situation. Our official does a great job of recognizing the timeout request, though. Yeah. That's a tough play. Our administering official takes their eyes off of the thrower in this instance. That's something we can look at here as well, right? We have a three-person crew, so we have help. Let's go here. Official asks to move back, bounce the ball to the thrower. Now we have a defender in close proximity to the thrower, right? Moving back and to gain perspective here is super valuable, a great habit and fundamental. But we have to stay focused on these two players right here, the defender and the thrower, right? We can't give our complete attention here. Let's see what happens. Right? Looks here, looks back, watches the ball. That's tough. That's a tough spot, and no help coming from our other officials on this play. In my judgment, this should have been a technical foul for the coach actions on this play. Not something you see every day. End of game situations, right? 4 seconds left. We want to be great in these situations. We want, if our lead had come with something on this play, right, had stayed connected to the game, but they were probably watching off ball. The responsibility here for the action of the thrower and the defender lies on the administering official here. So a great play to see. When we see this kind of behavior from coaches, we have to nip this in the bud. And if there's some like, oh, we're going to be obstinate, I am in my coaching box and I'm coaching my players, right? Or something like this, we can move our thrower as necessary. Again, this configuration on this court, not ideal. Not ideal. Yeah, gotta love it. Yes, he did, Mike. Yes, he did. I mean, so we could have stopped, right? Once the coach is doing this action and once he makes that move after being asked to move down, which I'm definitely doing, coach, I need you away from the thrower, right? And if they want to be obstinate, we can have a discussion. We can say we can assess a bench warning, etc. And if we have this action, we see this by coaches. It's such a Bush League thing where no, I'm coaching my players next to this thrower. A little bit, little, right at the last minute. Let's see this. Right, he's out of his coaching box here. Yeah, whatever. Whatever, coach. Violation or something more? Yeah. Double zero, he's really switched on. So we're going to look at, for live stream viewers, we're going to analyze some game video from the end of game situation here. This was the key play that brought it up. No, it's three-person. Three-person. This is a backcourt throw-in. This is a backcourt throw-in. So when I first saw it, that was where mine went. It seems like a front court throw-in, but it's a backcourt throw-in. Ted, I'd say whatever's required. Whatever's required in the situation. These, this, yeah. Umar, how are you? Good to see you in the chat. Appreciate it. Tom, that is absolutely correct. That's why we look at so many end-of-game situations. I agree, Dan. Or wait a minute. That was funny. All right. Okay. All right. We saw that play. Let me check something. Where I am. Oh. Well, today we've seen a number of critical situations. We have this coach behavior here at the end. Yeah. Let's look at a play, a little lighter play. Let's look at a little palate cleanser here. I cannot get enough of this play. There's so many elements here that are hilarious. Let's take a look. This may be ruled a flop. Yes, this may be ruled a flop by an offensive team, so the team's going to get the ball back. Oh, but let's take a look, right? First of all, we have the prone player, right? Just like, I have died. I have died. In addition, let's look at the teammate of the player on the floor. Looking at the defender, what did you do to my teammate? hey, and our administering official is like, oh my God, no way. Tremendous. But of course, on a serious note, we see the behavior of the player, right? The visual clue is always the head and the knees, right? We see the player on their own throw their head back, buckle their knees, right? This is the essential flopping action where they're trying to embellish contact. I love the calling official here is like, yeah, I can't get enough. I like the play. I like the play. Hey, thanks for joining us today for 5 Play Friday. Much appreciated. Much love. Special shout out today to our show supporters who help fuel our broadcast. Much appreciated. Much love. You can always buy us a coffee. I'll put a link up above. Awesome. We have additional video content available for you here. Take advantage of that, and we'll see you in the very next video. Take care, everybody. Except for live stream viewers. I just had to put that in. Get it in the can. Get it in the can. I love the player, the prone player. The teammate. What'd you do to my teammate? And the ref. I love it. I love it. How did we miss it, Kylie? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, tremendous. Yes, this is some off-season work. I love it. It's very meme worthy, and like I've told you guys, the Twitter account, art but make it sports or sports. I still don't even know if we had this prone player lying on the floor, like this instant right here. There's a piece of art that captures it greatly. Tremendous, tremendous. Illegal undershirt on who? Oh. All right, so what do we have? We're going to do some crew analysis. What happened to this play? Oh, I didn't do that. Okay. All right, so let's do that. Let's do some crew analysis from that game where the coach contacted the basketball, and let's look at all the things. Right, so I go here, right? We are a 1-point game. Team fouls 4-0. Under 50 seconds going. 3-point try, right? Great job by our trail, not bailing on that play. The suspense is killing me. Are we looking for help in that situation? Anyway, we're awarding the ball to White here. We're administering subs. Everything's good. Our center a little enamored with the ball. Need to move more quickly to the front court. Out of position as center. Foul is ruled. That's the first team foul for the Camels. We're going to timeout administration. Ooh, speed of hit. Wait. Hold on. Sorry. Right. Our crew's in good shape. Come on, man. We have another foul. White is obviously fouling. They have a long way to go. They started with 0. They now have 2 fouls. We have a foul in the backcourt, and our official, rather than go to the spot nearest the foul, goes to one of the 4 spots. This is going to be an issue in this situation. My video's screwed up. Right, here we are. We're coming out of the timeout. I apologize. I screwed that up. So we had a front court throw-in. We were using the correct throw-in spot. Again, we can't actually get to the 28-foot line because of the, right? We have the similar play as to the backcourt. We have a take foul in the backcourt after an attempt to steal the ball. And do we go to another timeout here? Right? And our official feels or has a misunderstanding about throw-in spots, right? The throw-in spot should be at the spot nearest the foul. But we go to the 28-foot mark. Our coach is displaced by that, right? Team's trying to steal and foul. We got a 10-second count. And coach was like, don't foul in that situation. Let's see where we were. 17.1. We've got to count. It's very discreet. Not a shot clock state, right? This is where you don't want to foul. Foul ruled. Again, we're going to one of the 4 spots. Inappropriate. Why we're doing that at this point of the season? Why our crew is allowing us to do that? Should have been an end line throw-in. We've got a crash on the throw-in. Let's take a look at that play. Right? So our center doesn't offset, right? It's difficult we can't officiate. We can only officiate like the back 2 players from that position, right? We've got a defender who's trying to draw a foul. They may have a case, right? But a foul is ruled on black. Team's in a situation where they're trying to foul. Foul is ruled on black. It's a backcourt foul. It should be, close to the table here. Again, our official is hung up on the 4 throw-in spots, but it's the backcourt. Got a sub. I would administer that as the center. We've got our animated coach doing his thing. And we have that play, that one, right, which we've already talked about. Great job granting the timeout to the player. 00 says, Coach, you're a cheater. Ref, how can you miss that? Appreciate all that. Timeout. Crew gets together, probably discussing the previous play, whether something happened with the coach, etc. But we really have to remain focused on the game itself. We have a situation where the school obscures the amount of time. It was 4.1. We got to know it was 4.1. We got to know a team foul situation. Team fouls are 4 and 4. They're attempting to foul, get the first foul, etc. We're communicating all of these things. And again, it should be an end line throw-in. The coach is like, it should be an end line throw-in. We're going to the 28-foot mark, right? We have to get these things right. The way we do that is we do them right all the time, right? We cannot be at this point of the season and have an official think that the throw-in spot should be here at the 28-foot line here. And you can't allow it as a crew. I'm sorry, right? This is an end line throw-in. We're giving potentially an advantage to White for a sideline throw-in. Take foul. Everything's good. Everything's good. He makes it. We have another timeout. Team can run the end line. 3 seconds remaining. That's our number, 3.0. We have to have the number, and we have to be aware of all the things. This is when the game gets compressed. All the things we have to know, and we have no room for error. Throw in. Right, we bring the player back, say start here, you can move. Administer the throw in, long throw in pass. We don't see it off camera, but a foul is committed. Clock ran to 1.7. Coach is pleading, put more time on. Oh, maybe it wasn't a foul. They requested a timeout. They caught the ball and requested a timeout. Our crew's going to get together. Now, what was the number on the throw-in? 3.0. We come out of the timeout. 3.0. It can't be 3.0. It cannot be 3.0. Time ran off the clock. We can put time back on the clock if we have definitive knowledge, but we can't have definitive knowledge of 3.0. Right? So we're making stuff up. We have to have the number in that situation. When you granted the timeout, the clock showed this. I'm an off-ball official, right? Trail official, the ball's in flight. You have nothing to do but be aware of the clock. But we're going to have a last-second try for goal. They need a three-pointer, right? We have to be aware that they may be doing, what kind of defense may be played. It's possible that a take foul would happen. Very unlikely. Last-second try for goal, falls short. Game over. Game over. Right? So, So lots of stuff going on. I don't know how. I don't know how. Well, most throw-ins go back in that situation. We have the lead up ahead. I would probably offset back, but we've got the trail in back. You just got to find, what works for you in that moment. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Right? And so, this play came up with the coach, and then you look at the crew, right? And the confounding thing was that going to the 4 spots in the back court, just baffling. Yeah. Baffling. Baffling. All right. Hey, on time. On time. You get your money's worth here at 5 Play Friday Live. Oh, I hate it as well. It's illegal, NCAA women. It's illegal for the clock to obscure during a timeout to obscure the clock information. It's so critical to the officials, right? You can always potentially go to the timer and say, what is the number? But, we need to communicate as a crew, and we need that information. right? If you are in that last second meeting and you're saying the number's 3.0, right? We always have to know the number. You have to know the number, right? Basketball occurs, there's a whistle. Somebody's got to know the number, right? You know, the strategy employed by the team here where they choose to throw the ball into the front court and then request a timeout, that's not an outlandish scenario, right? It's one we could expect that they're trying to do. Does the official have... No, he doesn't. Ed Harris shows up late. Good to see you, Ed. Yeah. Right. So, I mean, we have the opportunity. We have such a privilege. We can watch other officials and how they and situations that occur and say, okay, I am there. What am I doing? How would I do it differently? How would I communicate? How would I position? How would I be aware, etc.? And see, okay, these are habits and fundamentals, right? That clock awareness, knowing the number. I mean, we could go to, you tell me it's 2.7, 2.5, 2.3, 2.1, or 1.7 in that end of game situation. All of those are valid, right? But it can't be 3.0, right? And so, you know, we look at the habits and fundamentals and we say, there but for the grace of God go I, right? I would absolutely not be aware of that, or I have a tendency to not be aware of that. How can I improve that? You know what? There's end of quarter scenarios that happen 4 times a game. They happen on video. Have the number, be the number, own the number. Yeah. Yes. You're worth every penny. That's what we guarantee here with 5 Play Friday. Every penny. All right. Go forth and prosper. And would you do me a favor tonight in your game? Would you call it both ways? Come on, man. I'm here to tell you. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.